You want healthy, glowing skin, but with all the products, trends, and conflicting advice, it's hard to know what actually works. I understand. I am Dr. Tiina, a former cardiologist and specialist in the skincare development and cosmetic safety expert. I've spent years studying the science of skin. Welcome to Medder Beauty podcast, where we uncover what really matters, break down the science, and give you real expert-backed skincare advice. Whether you're looking to achieve radiant, healthy skin, curious about anti-aging, or want to understand what's really in your product, you are in the right place. Rooted in science and the truth about what your skin actually needs, we'll have in-depth conversations with leading dermatologists, medical experts, and skincare brand founders to bring you the latest innovations, evidence-based insights, and industry secrets that truly make a difference. We are so happy you are here. So let's go. Here I am again with my favorite guest, Sarah Drew, medical licensed esthetician from Miami, Florida. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, thank you for having me, always.
And last time we discussed a lot about the role of estheticians and skin practitioners. And I think we have a lot of questions about it. Let's discuss what we do when we have these consultations with our clients.
Right. We decided, yes, you need us. But then I guess let's discuss why and how we contribute to your lives. The strategy, I guess we would say. So I'm a medical licensed esthetician, as we spoke about. What that would typically mean for us here in Florida is that I work alongside a medical provider, a medical director. I have access to, say, more advanced devices than someone who has just gone to be licensed in skin. But then there is obviously yourself. You're a medical doctor. You're licensed to do far more than maybe I may be able to do. But we work together at times, obviously, to strategize. So I would say for myself, the most common concerns that come to me that I can address, acne, of course, pigmentation irregularities, aging naturally, at least educating clients on what factors are causing whatever they may see in the skin. But as we talk about this, something that stands out to me when I'm speaking to professionals is how they allow the client to come to them and address whatever it is that's bothering them. And I'm curious to know your thoughts. Are you someone who goes directly in and tells a client, this is what I see, this is what I want to address? Or do you allow them to come to you and have a safe space to be vulnerable and say, hey, this bothers me?
Actually, that's such a great question. With my experience, I never worked in America. So probably it can be different because all my professional life, I practiced in Europe, in a few European countries. But I consulted people when I traveled for the education. So I consulted people in countries in Asia and in Australia, New Zealand. I found that surprisingly, people are worried about the same thing. And since the moment I started my practice, for me, it was even no choice because that's my personality. That's who I am. I cannot bother people with my own opinion, even if it is a professional opinion.
Absolutely.
Because the aesthetic changes and the beauty itself, it's not objective. It was always difficult when I am visiting someone, when I am speaking with my colleagues, when they try to tell me who I am and what should I be worried about. Once it was so funny. It was big conference. I've been speaking for a couple of hours and after people just queued to ask me questions. And one of the women she was so nice and polite and she stayed just a little bit in the corner and she was like, no, don't worry about me. I will be the last one. And I said, oh my God, the nicest woman ever. And finally, I answered absolutely all questions. And we've been alone, one-to-one. And she approached me and she was like, oh my God, Tiina, I watched your nasolabial folds for 2 hours and I just feel the ceiling. Let me inject you.
The quietest one in the room with the loudest comment.
I will not lie to you. My love to her transformed to something else.
Isn't that incredible? Isn't that incredible?
Absolutely. Wow. It's an extreme situation, but what some of practitioners, they do in their room, like I'm opposite. I always ask people, how do you feel about yourself? What do you want? And how do you see our collaboration? So I think the beauty room, aesthetic clinic room should be absolutely safe space.
Safe space, and I love that word that you just used, collaboration. I've had it on different extremes. I've had clients who I would even have to be careful with the word of what's bothering you about your skin, because they may just be proactive and they may be saying there's really nothing bothering me, but I'm aging, I live an active lifestyle, or I'm traveling a lot, so I can probably predict my skin will change. And now I'm coming to you to prevent those changes. And it's beautiful.
Sounds very smart.
Collaboration, right? But then there is that person that looks at you. And sometimes I feel like it's our media or whatever illusion they have. We joke about being in quote a god sometimes to our clients, and they're like, save me, fix me. I can't do that. Please don't put that pressure on me. There will be that person that says, I came to you to tell me what to fix. So what do you see?
What I see can be very different from what you see in the mirror.
Absolutely. If you're asking me what I see, I'm going to ask you to see photos of you then from almost every decade, because who's to say what I see hasn't always been there?
Yeah.
There are predetermined conditions that obviously contribute to the way that our skin looks. So
sometimes it's even worse to see family photos. When you see sisters, mothers, and even grandmothers, you can predict a lot of things. For example, if you have this face puffiness or under eye bags, you probably in this genetic pathway leading to development is eye bags. It's easier to prevent than to treat. So it's legit questions. Let's enjoy your family photo together.
Exactly. So there's that. Okay. There's what are we going to collaborate together then with an address based on your concern. And then there's the how we get to the strategy of what we're doing, which in my conversations, people are mostly surprised. I'll ask about hormone panels, of course, asking about allergies, asking about sleep cycles. We talked about asking about menstrual cycles with our female clients. So there are those questions that contribute to our strategy, you would say?
Absolutely. And also what I think from the position of medical doctors and medical directors of the clinic, what I find very useful to ask, and unfortunately many practitioners, they forget about it. It is a medication and supplementation of our clients. And there are a lot of clients who are supplementing themselves. Which can be very tricky.
For
example, people don't know, for example, ginkgo. Great supplements for prevention of memory loss. No one can deny, and there are a lot of scientific proof. Do you know that it interacts with your blood coagulation?
No. Oh, no way. Oh, my goodness.
It's anticoagulant.
Shush.
So if you're suffering from the heavy periods, or if you're suffering from endometriosis, or you're entering the menopause, very probably ginkgo supplements are not good for you. And especially you should take it off before doing some intense aesthetic treatment, even before injectable. Because it increases significantly the risk of hematoma. So there are a lot of things to discuss, and even contraceptives. Or antidepressive, they are photosensitizing, unfortunately. So they increase the risk of hyperpigmentation because your skin becomes more vulnerable to the ultraviolet under the influence of antidepressant. And if you take both of them, your skin is definitely vulnerable. So for me, that's a question. So you cannot use any topical treatment which makes your skin even more vulnerable. So we are limited in the choice of the treatment. But unfortunately, not all professionals, they ask these questions. But for me, it's one of the good signs. If you come to the consultation and if you skin practitioners, esthetician, they're willing to discuss all these things, so probably you are in good hands.
I want to take it a little even further for any professionals that are listening, especially if they're new professionals. I hope that they have access to a medical director. I know the minute I met you and realized I might have access to you, I was like, I definitely want to stay close to her.
You're welcome.
Seriously, thank you. I mean, I have even emailed Dr. Metter pictures when having a client do something to their skin. Not everyone has that luxury.
Everyone emailed me pictures.
I'm sure. And now working with you, I realize how entitled we are. I'm sorry, but okay. When we're talking about intake forms, do you have your clients? I've had this discussion. I've helped a few different practices set up strategic CRMs and platforms that will allow their clients to input a lot of the information prior to making it to the room. However, the things that we're talking about can be so personal that the conversation has even come up with of, do I have every client take this intake form? If they just want a facial, I don't want to ask them about their medications. But what we're saying is so important. In just a facial, you can use something that's photosensitizing, and skipping thinking that something as serious as medication knowledge is too invasive. You may not have the confidence to be practicing, and that's okay.
Actually, that's another great question, because for me, we have all this intake form, and in my clinic, we use them a lot.
Yeah.
But what I found very interesting is that patients and clients, they do remember Dr. House.
Yeah, of course.
People lies. Oh my God, people lies.
Yes.
And especially they lie in the intake form, because
Absolutely.
when they don't understand why you ask them about the
Absolutely.
medications, they're
Absolutely.
like, whatever.
Yes.
Contraceptives, it's not even the medication.
Yes.
And actually people don't see contraceptives or antidepressants as
Sure.
a medication.
Sure.
And supplements are like, what can go wrong?
Right,
They're
right.
just
I take
clones.
biotin every day. What do you mean?
Yeah, and so I prefer to discuss it
In the room.
personally
Okay.
in the room.
Yes.
And first I explain people why I need to know about it.
Absolutely.
So before asking some question which could feel invasive.
Sure.
And people are really vulnerable.
Absolutely.
And they are not ready to answer some kind of questions
Yes.
coming to estheticians. They are not prepared.
You came for help with a skin condition that you already know is going to be difficult to talk about. But then here we are talking about your antidepressants. I don't necessarily need to know why you're taking them. If you want to open up, it's a safe space. But we really are just trying to understand what factors could contribute to what we're ultimately trying to control and get to when it comes to your skin.
So it's always the best way to explain
Yes.
why you need to know it.
Yes.
And after to answer the questions,
love
because
this.
patients, when they tell you, okay, I take ibuprofen because I have headaches,
Yes.
so I take ibuprofen 3 or 4 times a week. You can explain them all non-steroid anti-inflammatory medication.
Yes.
It, once again, makes your skin more vulnerable to the ultraviolet. But maybe we should discuss your headaches
Yes.
together, because
Yes.
you're worried about your forehead wrinkles.
Yes.
But now when you are speaking about your headache, I see that's kind of pain mask. And yes, we can treat this wrinkle. If we not find the way to treat your pain,
Yes.
your wrinkles will return
Yes.
and will just worsen all the time. So we should see the roots
Yes.
of the problem together.
This is actually why we're so aligned and why we work so well together. But the reality I experience when I'm speaking with clients is there is a very small percentage of clients that have the capacity to even address their lifestyle, address their headaches. Listen, I have been taking ibuprofen 4 times a week for years, girl. Hear you. Give me Botox.
Yeah, I came here to not discuss my headache.
Listen, so I think for professionals who are listening, it's important to understand, yes, this is our approach, but then realistically, when you have this client who tells you these things, I guess it's up to you as a provider. Do you still move forward with, if you have Botox in your clinic, from this perspective, how will you help this client? What would be your approach and your strategy for the person who's saying, I have premature aging, or I'm already noticing signs of aging on my skin? We've talked about my headaches. Now, what else can we do? What can we do together to address those signs?
I'm always trying to explain to patients, and it's this famous pyramid muscle of your essential and non-essential needs.
Okay.
Your skin can build the same pyramid. In the first floor,
Okay.
there will be lifestyle,
Okay.
physical
this.
activity, lifestyle, sleep quality,
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
The next floor will be the food.
Yes.
Because once again, skin has 2 sides.
Yes.
We can apply whatever we want on the external side, but inner side interact with everything
Yes.
you eat
Yes.
and how you live. So then next floor, it's the food. So we should discuss it.
Absolutely.
If we're speaking about long-term results,
Sure.
after we go into your skin quality, we are speaking about the external side of the skin. So we discuss the skincare.
Beautiful.
And after we are coming to the targeted action,
Okay.
you're worried about this dark spot on
Yes.
your right cheek.
Yes. Exactly.
That's it. That's your
Exactly.
concern.
Exactly.
But we should understand that we cannot start from the middle of the pyramid.
yes.
We can.
Yes. I love this.
It will be immediate results.
I love this.
But you will never get long-term results if
Exactly.
you don't build a foundation. If you want immediate results, no matter what.
They take the elevator.
Oh my God, yeah. I remember one patient, she came to me with a dark spot, exactly. And she was like, tomorrow I have a party. Yeah, tomorrow. I hate the word tomorrow.
Literally.
In the consultation, it worries me a lot. And she was like, tomorrow I have a party and I should look natural. So please eliminate my dark spot
Exactly.
now. And I was
Exactly.
like, it's Absolutely. Physically.
Yes.
Impossible. I'm so sorry. We can make it look a little bit less visible, decrease contrast, but
Yes.
makeup.
Yes.
For tomorrow, that's a makeup option. That's it.
Literally.
And she was like, and how much it costs you treatment? I was like, 300 euros, something like that. And she was like, I pay 500. I was like, I'm so sorry. And I'm really sorry because I will not take you 500 because physically it is impossible. And she raised up until 1,500. She even took the cash from her bag,
I can't.
put on the table. And I was like, oh my God. Now I have 1,500 euro.
Listen.
And I cannot take it. Because it will not work. And she didn't believe me.
No.
She was like, how many money you will take to eliminate it now? And like,
you're like, how much money can I give
So
you to
sorry.
sit here with me?
yeah. And she didn't like me. And I
Understand.
tried literally everything.
Of
I even
course.
took some object and just let it fall down on the chair. And I was like, no money can stop it. That's exactly the same. Gravity is one of the physics law, and you dark spots. You cannot eliminate dark spots in 1 hour. It's impossible.
Yes.
She didn't
and
believe
so
me at all.
the two of you didn't work together, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
No.
She didn't like me.
So the point of my question asking even that is, obviously not every client is going to work with you because your well-rounded approach, which I think you would like more professionals to
I'm
embrace.
absolutely sure if she opened another door,
Yes.
she'll probably get this laser elimination of the dark spot for €1,000 immediately.
With all of the exosomes that we could find.
Absolutely. And tomorrow probably she will be very surprised by the very dark spot and changed skin in this place. But
these are our contributors to, I spend thousands of dollars, nothing works. That's not true.
It's a story.
Your way doesn't work, and your thousands of dollars can't make your way work.
That's law of physics, that's law of biology,
Absolutely.
and no money can change the biology of the skin.
No money, no elevator, must start on the ground floor of the foundation. So for the practitioners who then are looking to understand foundation, lifestyle, I know too many professionals who themselves don't have a lifestyle that reflects how good our skin looks. However,
It's our choice. But however, it is a collaboration and a partnership. And what I try to explain to clients and patients, that I can do only the part of the work. I can do some manipulation. I can do biofacial. We can use some machines, injectables. Lifestyle is on you.
Yes.
What you eat is your choice every day. So it can be the collaboration, the partnership.
So I was doing just a smidge of research here because I know a lot of professionals know what we're looking for when we're talking about changing the skin. A lot of us are looking to influence our fibroblasts, which clients don't necessarily know. I was thinking about how I don't feel there's enough information about what we need in order to protect the health of our fibroblasts, but also when we're talking about stress. Stress is one of the main contributors in what is aging our skin, what is causing our inflammation. So lifestyle advice or guidance that we can give, as simple as slowing down. I like to tell my clients to journal or in some way get their stress out. What type of lifestyle advice? I know that you're big on being active, so I'm sure you tell your clients to go for walks or spend time outside. Absolutely. Maybe you love to read. You've definitely slowed me down with spending more time in a physical book versus on my phone. Are there any other small lifestyle tips that you typically can give a client that's even small enough for them to say, thank you, Dr. Tiina?
Yeah.
Even the story you told me recently about someone going to check their eyes.
Yeah, that's very important because it's our responsibility. Because I think you should not be technician. The role of practitioners is to see deeper than skin.
Yes.
And to give these advices, to care about the skin globally, because our role is to achieve long-term results.
Absolutely.
Immediate results, they are easy. You can do it, except for dark spots, pigmentation, but wrinkles, why not?
Yes.
You inject, it's eliminated.
Yes.
But does it really change the appearance? Will you be happy with these results? Because sometimes patients, they think that their problem is very much located in these wrinkles. For example, you have these 11 lines and you see these 11 lines only in the mirror. So you come, please eliminate it.
Yes.
And I look 25 years old, happy young girl again. And we know that probably you're not.
Yes.
Because it's not only about wrinkles. Wrinkles are only signs.
Absolutely.
So we can help you better. We can eliminate wrinkles, even we can start with it.
Yes.
But the whole strategy
yes.
will be geared around it.
Yeah.
What is causing wrinkles?
Absolutely.
What kind of factors contribute to the wrinkles? What was always different in my approach? I never wanted to offer treatments, especially intense treatment, in the first consultation. Sometimes it's shocking for the patients.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, because they come to you and they're like, okay, I came.
Yes.
Do something.
Yes. And also, I like to tell professionals, you don't know that client's skin yet, and you don't know that client yet.
Yeah.
So while they may be hopeful and they may look at you and say, I'll be compliant, Sarah, you don't know that. So you don't want to shock their skin in your first initial interaction.
Also, that's always useful to see people in different time of the day and in different day of the week, because we all look better in the morning.
Naturally, yes.
We all look better in the Monday.
Okay.
Because after weekend,
yes.
they're refreshed.
Yes.
And so when people are coming for injections, for wrinkles treatment, most of them, they're coming at the end of the week. And you know why?
Yeah.
Because they look better at the beginning of the week. So when they take the spontaneous decision
Stop it.
to see a practitioner,
Yes.
it will happen Thursday and Friday.
Yes.
And when you see statistic,
Yes.
70% of the first consultations
Yes.
happens at the end of the week.
That is so interesting.
But to give even the right dose
Yes. Yes.
of botulinum toxin
Yes.
or fillers, you should see them on Monday.
Wow.
Do not overload them.
That is such a great piece to strategy, and so simple and so small when we're talking to our professionals. Wow.
Yeah, so when you take a decision to inject, it's better to see in the first days of the week and better to see in the morning, so you can be in this principle less is more.
Yes.
Also, another thing, for example, when you are planning laser or radio frequency,
absolutely,
you know then your skin should react, should be responsive.
Sure.
And higher the level of stress, higher the level of stress hormone, cortisol will be.
Exactly.
And cortisol doesn't help to regenerate.
Sure.
So it's always better to sleep at least a couple of nights before this treatment.
Yes.
As long as you can.
Okay.
So once again, if you can make this sleepy, we can.
Stop.
Yeah, before intense aesthetic treatment.
Yes.
You will get like twice more response. Results will be so much better.
Oh my goodness.
Or you come on Friday evening after a busy week of work, you didn't sleep well, you are tired.
Well, it's funny. I love that you're giving, again, very simple advice, but I think of our clients, they always want to do it on Friday because they'll have Friday, Saturday, Sunday to recover. But when you're speaking about you're investing thousands of dollars in a treatment and naturally your body won't even give you the best result. I mean, of course, you could just take off the whole week and sleep all week and prepare for your treatment, but that's great. That's gold.
But this is a thing to think about it and probably to find the right season, the right time of the year, the right week of this month. Because if in the last week of the month it will be more challenging, you have, I don't know, play dates with your children, some games and obligations.
Absolutely.
So just
vacations planned. One of our biggest, I think, most oftentimes are occasions that we're celebrating and preparing for weddings. So thinking of, I usually will tell a client, give me 3 months prior to your wedding. Don't come to me and tell me I'm getting married in a month because there's only so much I can do. Okay, that's fabulous. I love this advice.
So that's not enough to see people once.
No.
To create a strategy. When you see someone once, yes, you can do something for immediate results. But if you want to build this partnership, this collaboration, I always say to clients, please be prepared to see me at least a few times. Let's build together this pyramid of your skin needs. It will be individual. And we can find some absolutely unexpected answers to your questions.
It's funny because the question I wanted to ask you, and I do love what you mentioned about not being technicians. That was something that stuck out to me when I went through my licensure because there is this conversation about medical esthetician not being a real term. Like, you're laser technicians, you're licensed to perform a laser. I'm like, I don't know how to fix the laser. I don't know why I'm called a technician. And to your point, calling operators, I love when you say skin therapists. I love this word. I love feeling this way. Something I wanted to ask you is if you give your clients homework. My therapist, she'll give me homework, post an appointment. It allows your client to show what I was mentioning earlier is their accountability. Will they do the work? Are they invested? Do you give your clients sometimes, in quote, homework or things for them to work on to report back to you in those next following appointments?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
And first of all, there are some lifestyle advices and some food advices that should be implemented in your life.
Absolutely.
Especially, for example, when we speak about acne or rosacea, I think it's just irresponsible to leave it out of the consultation. You cannot treat acne or rosacea properly if you don't speak about triggers, if you don't speak about the food.
Absolutely.
So I ask them to keep a diary.
Yes.
What they eat, with the timing, without analyzing it as much as possible. Just write it, close the page.
You're just catching patterns.
Yeah, you're just catching patterns. We will see everything together. We will analyze it together.
Love this.
Also, I love, especially when people come with anti-aging, when they are concerned about the future aging. Because the question is, no one knows how you will age.
Sure.
We have our idea.
Yes.
We can look at the photo of our family.
Exactly.
So if my grandmother aged this way, so probably I will do that.
Sure.
But we don't really know. We can discuss this pattern together. And I always ask to be more respectful and more curious about yourself. Because, for example, biohacking, it's all about this knowledge of yourself.
Yes.
People, unfortunately, they're not curious about their biology.
Yeah.
I met a lot of people who don't know liver is at right or at the left.
It's true. We took it in high school and we just pretty much put it in the back of our minds after that.
Yeah, like I don't need math, I don't need biology. No. And so I ask to be a little bit more curious. For example, to get this homework to cleanse up your face twice a day meaningfully. Made it a practice.
Yes.
To create an intention, to apply the cleanser, to mask gently, to look at yourself in the mirror, to wash it off properly and thoughtfully.
Absolutely.
And it can create a new pattern in your skincare. Because if it use someone who forget to cleanse off makeup,
I just had this conversation recently. Yes.
It's all right.
Yes.
And it is individual approach. So we should start from this new practice of skin cleansing together.
I love the words you're using for professionals, for clients, having this curiosity and having such a simple approach, taking it all the way back to, I just had this conversation with a friend talking about the way that she's cleaning her skin, whether or not she's properly removing her makeup. And she's looking at the towel as we're having this conversation. She's like, you know what? There is still makeup on this towel. You're right. I am not cleaning my face. So it's fun because I felt her power come back and I felt her go from hopeless, my skin's always going to be dry, to like, okay, these are these habits in my everyday life that are contributing to what I'm coming to you for.
And first of all, you should not be ashamed about it. It happens to everyone.
Yes.
Literally
even
everyone.
us.
Even us.
That's why we're speaking from personal experience.
And so it just makes this moment of your day more meaningful for you.
Absolutely. I love that.
Make you health and your skin health the point of your interest.
Absolutely.
Do not delegate this work completely, because I think the biggest mistake which people make, they think they can delegate this health. Find the doctor who will make me 100 years old without any illness. It's impossible. And it is impossible to find aesthetic doctor or esthetician who will keep your skin healthy and look younger until you're 100 years.
There are some that will want to take on this responsibility. I am not her.
I'm not good in delegating at all. But people sometimes just won't delegate something. I remember one of the patients came to me and she was like, now I am ready to give you all responsibility for my skin. And I was like, am I ready to take responsibility for your skin?
Exactly.
You still wear your skin, right?
Yes, exactly.
Then you'll be out.
Yeah.
Would you like to take me with you?
Honestly. Let me know when you're going to leave it at the door.
Yeah. Just we should live together.
That's funny because I think that is why my business turned mobile. As many times as a client got up from my table, oh, if I could just take you home with me. Oh, I would be so happy. That's their strategy. This is great because I genuinely thought this conversation could turn into how do we put these devices with this product? And it always comes back to
next time, right?
We could discuss skincare strategy devices all day long, but the most important piece here is I think the practitioner's confidence and having very vulnerable conversations when we're talking about strategizing with our clients. Being gracious enough to allow them to tell you what's bothering them, not to assume the role unless, like I said, I've been in positions where someone has said, what do you see? You're honest, but you're still gracious. And I see that you probably have spent a lot of time in the sun in your life. And it opens them up to saying, yes, these freckles, this. So, okay, opening them up to be vulnerable. And then the next strategy is, of course, building your pyramid, starting from the foundation of lifestyle, understanding diet. I would assume one of the biggest things that you help in that regard is introducing anti-inflammatory foods that they can consume.
Anti-inflammatory foods. Sometimes, for example, for mature skin, it's very impossible to discuss the protein intake because no protein, no collagen.
Yes.
And it's very often when women in the menopause, they are going on the diet, they limit the choice of proteins quite significantly. So that's another thing to discuss.
Sure.
And anti-inflammatory diet, antioxidants, the water intake, the quality of the water. As well.
Thank you for your input on the quality of water, I shall say. I am an Evian drinker now.
Because actually Evian is full of magnesium.
We will speak no more. We are not sponsored.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But okay.
But there are a lot of different kinds of waters which can really affect your body differently. So it's also the thing to discuss.
Absolutely.
And after we go to this medication, supplementation, coming to the skincare. And I always, in the ideal world, I always love the idea to give the skin to renew every cells at least twice after we started our partnership to see how able are your skin cells. Because probably in a couple of months it takes 28, 30 days for the skin renewal. So when you start to make changes in your life, you start to use a new skincare, ideally, let it be a couple of months to see your skin first level of the transformation.
Absolutely.
And after, let's see together what we can do more. Pigmentation will be better. Your skin color will certainly be more even.
Hydration.
Very probably your wrinkles will be less visible.
Absolutely.
So we have less of skin things to do. It will be less expensive. Actually. I know that's probably for the clinic management. It doesn't sound like a right strategy.
It sounds like the long term. It sounds long game. It sounds like you're building trust. It sounds like you're not getting the most in the initial meeting, which is opposite of what they'll tell you in business. In business, they'll always say, grab the most out of them and then spread it out over the 12 months you're working with them. And what you're saying is actually start slowly, crawl before you run. And you will find, in my opinion, number one, you get that client a better result, a more long term. But now everyone in their life wants to go to wherever they've gone versus the conversation that happens most often is, girl, I went there, it was awful. Girl, I went there, it was awful. I've gone everywhere. I find we lack a lot of trust from our consumers for this reason. So in those 2 months, you're saying, yes, let's follow your lifestyle and your diet. Let's diary it. Let's see how it's going. You're also implementing a new skincare routine in those 2 months? Okay.
So for the first couple of months, a half of pyramid should be built up.
And
after we go for the upper side of the pyramid, if needed, and we do it strategically, individually. We book appointment in the right day of the week, in the right time. We think about circadian approach to your skin to get maximum results naturally. And very probably at the end of the year, so you will get, if not the same amount of procedures or treatments, very probably less of them. But you will still get them in the clinic, but with natural, healthy,
yes,
long-term results.
This is
incredible. And it will make all the difference.
Especially when we're talking about people, my clients, they're very active. They are seriously on the go. So it even sounds, if I have a new client and we have some, in quotes, serious conditions that we're wanting to address, giving them even those 2 months to manage their lifestyles, find the week when you can rest and get the sleep you may need before I'm putting devices to your skin. It's fabulous. And it's, again, I see the long-term result. It's very frustrating to be a practitioner and your livelihood is based on the results you get for your clients, but you're having to slam in a treatment that ultimately you probably feel in your gut is not going to get you the result you want just because this client is about to hop back on a plane to go home and you just created channels into their skin. So I love this.
It doesn't feel well.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we should call patient-oriented strategy. And in the ideal world, that's how we should practice. When you implement this practice in your professional life, you wake up feeling proud of yourself and you love what you do. And that's the most important thing in your profession.
If clients feel anything like what I feel, I'm like, yeah, this was great. This was great. But now I want to know about the devices. And I think this is the perfect way to end this conversation because I think, yes, that is what we get the most excited about. But this is the most important piece. And this will be what influences the result at the end of the day.
Thank you for joining us today on the Matter Beauty podcast. If you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an expert skincare tip. Have a question or topic you'd like for me to cover? Send me a message at podcast@matterbeauty.com and let's keep the conversation going. Also, you can visit matterbeauty.com and discover Matter Skincare, which I created. And if you enjoyed the show, I'd love if you left a review. It helps others find the podcast and keeps us growing. Until next time, stay healthy, stay glowing, and take care of your skin.